What if? The one thing holding you back from real clarity isn't a lack of motivation or discipline, but the simple fact that you're giving too much of yourself away every day. You speak when silence would serve you better. You react when you should retreat inward. You scatter your attention across hundreds of things that don't matter, while the one thing that could change everything sits quietly in the corner, waiting for you to notice it. The ancient Stoics knew this secret. They practiced it relentlessly. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't complicated, but it quietly separated those who drifted through life from those who led it with unshakable clarity. Today, you're going to discover the habit that changes everything. It's not what you think, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you practice it, everything begins to shift faster than you ever imagined. If you're done letting the world pull you in every direction, comment below. No more distractions. Now, let's begin. Let's be honest about where you are right now. You wake up. Before your feet hit the floor, you're already reaching for your phone, messages, notifications, news, someone's opinion about something that doesn't concern you, another crisis you can't control, another voice demanding your attention. You scroll, you react, you absorb, and without realizing it, you've already given away the first hour of your day to forces outside yourself. At work, you're constantly interrupted. A meeting that could have been an email, a colleague venting about office politics, a notification pulling you out of focus every few minutes, fragmenting your thoughts, breaking your concentration, stealing your momentum. You try to get things done, but you're always playing catch-up, busy but not productive, moving but not forward. And then there's the talking, the endless talking. You talk about your plans before you've taken the first step. You share your struggles with people who don't have solutions. You defend yourself to critics who will never be satisfied. You explain, justify, announce, broadcast, seeking validation, seeking approval, seeking reassurance, hoping someone else will tell you that you're on the right path. But here's the brutal truth. Every word spoken too early leaks energy. Every unnecessary explanation drains momentum. Every attempt to convince people who don't matter steals focus from what actually does. And every time you check what others think before checking what you think, you hand over your power. You're living in a state of constant reaction. You're not directing your life, you're responding to it, and somewhere deep down, you know it. You feel the scatter, you sense the drift. You recognize that despite all your effort, you're not moving with the clarity and control you once imagined for yourself. The Stoics had a name for this. They called it living outside yourself. A condition where external events, other people's opinions, and the noise of the world dictate your inner state. It's the opposite of sovereignty, the opposite of freedom. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But Marcus wasn't writing those words because he had mastered the lesson. He was reminding himself, because even emperors struggle, even emperors get distracted, even emperors fall into the trap of seeking validation. Most people never escape it. They spend their entire lives in reactive mode, letting the world set the agenda, speaking too much, thinking too little, seeking approval from crowds who will forget them tomorrow, chasing goals they don't even want, because someone else convinced them those goals mattered. And that's the tragedy. Because they're capable of so much more, they have the intelligence, the potential, the opportunity, but they never focus it, never harness it, never direct it, never turn inward and ask the only questions that truly matter. What do I want? What do I control? What can I do right now instead? They talk, they react, they scatter, and the years slip away. You don't want that, and if you're still listening, it's because something inside you knows there's another way. You're tired of the noise, exhausted by the performance, done giving your energy to things that don't deserve it. You want your focus back, your time back, your peace back. You want yourself back. And the good news is, you don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to wait for the right moment. You simply need to understand one thing. The habit that changes everything isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It doesn't require announcements or applause or approval. It's the opposite. It's quiet, internal, invisible to everyone except you. And it begins with a single decision. Focus on yourself and stay silent. So what does that actually mean? Let's break it down because it's simple, but not easy. Focusing on yourself means directing your attention toward the only things you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your effort, your responses, not outcomes, not opinions, not algorithms, not critics, not competition, just you. Staying silent means resisting the urge to speak prematurely, resisting the need to announce, to explain, to seek validation, to react impulsively. It means learning how to hold your energy until the right moment, until speaking serves a purpose greater than ego. This isn't about becoming antisocial. It's not about avoiding people. It's about becoming intentional, strategic, disciplined. The Stoics practiced this relentlessly. Epictetus, once a slave, taught his students a powerful lesson. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He didn't complain about his circumstances. He didn't broadcast his suffering. He focused on what he could control, his mind, his choices, his character, and he stayed silent about everything else. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Think about that. Not revenge, not confrontation. Delay, pause. Silence when someone insults you. Pause when chaos erupts around you. Pause when emotions demand immediate action. Pause because that pause is where your power lives. Marcus Aurelius repeated the same lesson again and again. Confine yourself to the present. Stop replaying the past. Stop fearing the future. Stop imagining what others think. Focus on the moment in front of you and the one action available right now. That's where life happens. That's where clarity lives. But modern life pushes you in the opposite direction. Social media rewards constant expression, constant performance, constant reaction. Everyone is encouraged to share everything, announce everything, broadcast everything. The culture celebrates busyness, multitasking, availability, instant responses, constant engagement. But here's what nobody tells you. Every immediate reaction weakens your ability to respond thoughtfully. Every premature announcement dilutes your commitment. Every search for external validation weakens your internal confidence. The habit of focusing on yourself and staying silent is the antidote. Imagine waking up tomorrow, instead of grabbing your phone, you sit quietly for 5 minutes. No notifications, no news, no input, just silence. You ask yourself 3 questions. What matters most today? What can I control? What's the next step? That's it. At work, someone criticizes your idea. Instead of defending yourself instantly, you pause, you listen. If the criticism is useful, you learn from it. If it isn't, you let it go. No wasted energy, no emotional drama, no endless arguments. You're tempted to announce a new project, a new goal, a new habit, but this time, you don't. You stay silent, you build in private, you let progress replace promises. You let results replace announcements. And when chaos inevitably appears, you don't react, you observe, you breathe. You ask one question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, you release it. If the answer is yes, you act. Nothing more, nothing less. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Think about that. Listen more, observe more, react less, speak less, because silence creates space. Space for clarity, space for insight, space for strategy. When you're constantly talking, you're not thinking. When you're constantly reacting, you're not observing. When you're constantly seeking validation, you're not building. But when you focus on yourself and stay silent, something remarkable happens. You begin noticing patterns. You hear the signal beneath the noise. You recognize what truly matters. You become aware of your habits, your weaknesses, your strengths, your blind spots, and from that awareness, you gain precision. You stop wasting time. You stop defending things that don't matter. You stop engaging with people who drain your energy. You stop announcing plans before they're ready. You simplify, you focus, you execute, and here's the paradox: the less you speak, the more weight your words carry, the less you react, the more intentional your actions become. The less validation you seek, the more confidence you feel, because confidence isn't built through praise, it's built through evidence. Promises don't create confidence. Action does. Results do. Consistency does. The world respects restraint. It respects people who don't need to explain themselves, who don't need constant attention, who don't need endless affirmation, but more importantly, you begin respecting yourself because you're living according to your standards, not everyone else's. You're moving in a direction you chose, not one chosen for you. This is the essence of Stoic discipline, not deprivation, direction, saying no to the trivial so you can say yes to the essential. Epictetus said, "First learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. Think before speaking, reflect before reacting, know yourself before explaining yourself." This habit, focusing on yourself and staying silent, is the foundation of everything else. Discipline, clarity, self-control. Without it, external forces control your life. With it, you become unshakable. Will it feel uncomfortable at first? Absolutely. You'll feel the urge to explain, to defend, to announce, to react, to prove yourself. But every time you resist, you grow stronger. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you reclaim power. Every time you focus inward instead of outward, you sharpen your ability to direct your life. Eventually, it becomes natural. It becomes who you are. You become someone who doesn't need to announce plans because you're busy executing them. Someone who doesn't need to defend every decision because confidence replaces insecurity. Someone who doesn't need constant validation because action has become validation. And that's what the Stoics meant by virtue: alignment. Your actions match your values. Your words match your intentions. Your life matches your vision. And it all begins with one habit. So what happens when you fully commit? What does life look like on the other side? You wake up with clarity. You know what matters. You know what deserves attention. You know what doesn't. Your mornings belong to you, not notifications, not news, not strangers. You move through the day with intention, not urgency. At work, you're no longer pulled in 10 directions. You've learned to prioritize. You've learned that busy isn't productive. You've learned that movement isn't progress. So you focus on the few things that matter, and you execute. Distractions still appear, but they no longer control you. You assess them, evaluate them, and most of the time, you let them pass. People begin noticing something different about you: a calmness, a steadiness, a grounded presence. You don't get drawn into drama. You don't participate in gossip. You don't waste energy defending yourself. And because you're not constantly talking, when you do speak, people listen. Your words carry weight, not because they're louder, because they're rarer, more deliberate, more thoughtful, more authentic. You stop seeking validation because you're validating yourself through results. You build, you complete, you improve, and that's enough. Your relationships improve too, not because you're trying harder, but because you're present. When you're with someone, you're actually with them, not distracted, not scrolling, not planning your next response. Just present, and people feel that. Your goals become clearer because they're no longer buried beneath noise. You're not talking about them. You're working on them quietly, consistently, relentlessly. You reclaim your time. Hours once lost to scrolling, reacting, explaining, defending now belong to you. You read, you think, you create, you rest, you grow, and perhaps most importantly, You feel in control. Not of everything, Stoicism never promised that, but of the things that matter, your mind, your choices, your responses, your character. Marcus Aurelius said, "Confine yourself to the present." Now you understand why. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but this moment belongs to you, and when you fully inhabit it, life changes. You stop living in anxiety and start living with purpose. You stop comparing yourself because you're focused on your own path. You stop performing because you're focused on becoming. You stop chasing approval because you're building something far more valuable, self-respect. And here's the beautiful truth. This transformation doesn't begin someday. It begins now. The moment you choose, the moment you decide to focus on yourself and stay silent, something shifts. You feel it. A little more calm, a little more clarity, a little more power. And as you practice it daily, that feeling grows day after day, week after week, month after month. You become more focused, more disciplined, more intentional. The world remains noisy. Distractions remain everywhere. People remain demanding, but you're no longer at their mercy. You're no longer reactive. You're responsive, you're intentional, you're sovereign. And that's the transformation the Stoics spoke of. Not a dramatic reinvention, a quiet revolution, one that happens within. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it. You simply live it. And that's when everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. Because the habit that changes everything is available in this very moment. All you have to do is choose it. So here's your challenge for the next 7 days. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Don't announce your plans. Don't react impulsively. Don't seek validation. Move quietly. Move intentionally. Turn your attention inward and watch what happens. Watch your clarity sharpen. Watch your energy return. Watch your confidence grow. Watch your results improve. The Stoics didn't need perfect circumstances to master themselves. Neither do you. You already have everything you need. The power is already inside you. You simply have to stop giving it away. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Let your work speak. And remember, the moment you decide to change is the moment everything begins to shift. That moment is now. Choose it. If you're ready to reclaim your focus and silence the noise, comment below.